welcome back to the Rugby Connection podcast, the only fan podcast for all the rugby. Well, boys, we're finally here. We're in the Six Nations. Harv's not with us because he's too busy drinking all the Guinness on our behalfs. But we've got Cam, we've got Marcello. Gents, how are we?
Yeah, good. Not too bad. Six Nations are kicked off, so we're back. We're back to normality. We're back to international rugby, as all things should be.
Have you recovered from Saturday evening yet, Murray? After that tense game in Cardiff?
I'm still sleep deprived from Wednesday from having baby number 2 arriving. So it's all kind of a whirlwind, but I'm all good.
Congrats to you, Chief. Congrats to you. Well done.
Thank you. Very kind. So we're just making the dynasty happen now. Start them young.
Yeah, I can't wait for your kids to figure out that they're English eligible and then go play for like Saracens in England. That's going to be great.
Oh, I hate you. Anyway, Six Nations is back, and oh my God, what a round to start us off with.
A brilliant way to open it up.
Friday Night Lights. It's unheard of, really, that we have a Friday Night Lights to start the show. France, Ireland, the last 2 Grand Slam champions, and Ireland smacked France about for 80 minutes.
Yep.
38-17.
Yeah, France shut the bed a bit. I really thought France were going to go into this tournament and absolutely wipe it. I thought, Anton Dupont not being there aside, I thought they would be more than capable of, with the talent that they have, more than capable of easily winning a Grand Slam this year. I thought Ireland's losses were much more substantial than France's, but after that game, it sort of flipped everything on its head because France were genuinely really bad.
Yeah, they were. Thing is, I don't even think that's like, I don't know, maybe it's just cold feet. That's what I see it as, because this French team's still a threat throughout the tournament. You can't write them off. It's France. But I don't know. I don't know if it was just the cold feet that got to them or the Dupont and Tamac, all that mess.
Bit of pressure, I think. I mean, obviously, the World Cup didn't go as planned, and they were favourites, I think. But I mean, everyone knew that they'd have to beat some good teams to win it. But home World Cup, the expectation of the crowd, and France notorious for having supporters that are very happy and create a great atmosphere. But when it's going bad, they don't. And I think Ireland did so well to start really well, and that just completely took the sting out of that atmosphere in Marseille. That's the key. If you can quieten them down and sort of get them to get on their own players' backs, which they did, they sort of won that game in the first 10, 15 minutes. And from then on, a team like Ireland are never going to surrender that lead, and they just were able to kick on, and they're too good to let France back into it. And ultimately, it was, France were just pretty miserable.
Do you know what I think it could be? I think ever since the World Cup quarter-final, I think because, I mean, what was the home winning streak for France before that? Pretty substantial.
Very, very high.
I think that sort of that ethos of France at home has sort of disappeared after it's been proven that they can be beaten at home. And Ireland took advantage of that, knowing that they're not unbeatable at home.
Sure. Yeah. Speaking of Ireland, and this is a massive positive going into the future, long term as well. Joe McCarthy, first Six Nations start,
man of the match.
Player of the match, absolutely phenomenal. And like we've been debating it for weeks. Who's going to be the 10th for Ireland? Jack Crawley's answer. I know we all said Prendergast, but Crawley looked so cool, calm, collected, as if he's been doing that for years. And you actually need that chilled out like mentality. Yeah, great leadership, and just Ireland all over was.
It just felt like Ireland going through their gears as normal. It didn't even feel like we were having a bit like any sort of rebuilding phase. Honestly, like this has to be one of the smoothest transitions. It might be too early to say because we could see chinks in the armor going through the rest of the tournament. But from that first game, from that first impression, it looks to be a very smooth transition for Andy Farrell.
Very easy.
I think it makes a massive difference for Crowley because I'm not going to get too excited about him just yet. I think the fact that he's got a player like Bundy Aki one side and Jamie Gibson Park the other side, that I almost feel like you could have put I want, obviously you could put anyone in there, but like I think any youngster, inexperienced player is going to be quite comfortable in a game when you've got those two either side, and they were both tremendous. Like James Gibson Park does for Ireland almost, I think, what Dupont does for France. He just marshals the game, he controls the game, he controls the tempo. His kicking game is so good, and then Bundyaki just carries everything, offloads everything, and they just make Ireland tick. And Crowley must just be absolutely delighted to have those two outside.
Bundyaki is so good he doesn't even need a number on his back, but it's fine.
No,
He is so good.
Yeah, big win for Ireland. Massive praise to the boys in green. France, I don't know where to go from there, really. I mean, Damien Pinot scores, but that's what Damien Pinot does. Jalabert did look good. Not so sure about Lucu.
No,
Personally,
Maxime Lucu for
but-
me had a poor first game. I'd like to see Le Garrick get maybe a start in the next match.
Yeah,
I think that'd be harsh on Lucu though. So
Yeah,
I think he's a
no,
good.
don't
I
get
think
me
he's.
wrong,
I
it
think
would
he's.
be.
I think he's a good player. He is a good player. I
He's
just don't
very
think
good football,
anyone
though.
for France. I think maybe the front row were good for France. Otherwise, I don't think anyone had a particularly good game. So I wouldn't.
We'll leave it on that. There's a lot of questions to be asked about Le Bleu, but we'll go on to the Saturday because when in Rome, I'm sorry, Marcello, but by the way, no, credit to your boys right to the end. England still that one notch on the bedpost you can't seem to get.
Yeah.
But hey, I think this is the closest Italy have ever been. 27-24 full time to England, but it was not easy. First of all, congrats to Ethan Roots, Exeter Chiefs, straight into the England setup, debut, player of the match, like Joe McCarthy. But, yeah, well done, Italy. They really impressed me. I was a big fan, especially in that first half. Scotland under 20 to Marcello in there. I love that. But, no, they just clicked. The Garbisi brothers were clicking. I wouldn't say it was Paolo's best game, but he's not really used to playing with his brother. And I know that sounds really stupid.
Yeah, no, I think it was a little bit of a surprise that he started. I think most of us thought it'd probably be Stephen Varney. And then Padrello, the French convert, has always been, well, not always, but in recent times has been the backup. So we didn't expect to see a lot of Garbisi this tournament, but I thought he had a really good first half. And Italy in general had a really good first half.
Very good.
They caused England a lot of problems defensively. They really fronted up. But I think they made, it was like 112 tackles or something in that first half. And I think maybe that 15-20 minute period after half time, it showed a little, and mistakes crept into the game. England took advantage like any sort of semi-decent side would do. And yeah, we finished well in the last sort of 10 minutes, but that little period, and that's still something to work on. We're a young squad. But I think there was lots there to enjoy. And I think the fact we kept them out in that last play and then go up the other end and score and get a losing bonus point will do them the world of good. So I'm confident it's a good start. Lots to work on, but yeah, I'm feeling quite encouraged by what I saw overall.
I mean,
Do you know what impressed me for Italy? Sorry.
I was just making a joke that they're ahead of France in the table, but
yeah, well, they are, they definitely are. But what sort of impressed me about Italy is a noticeable difference in their approach to the game. Yes, we saw some like razzle dazzle tries from them, and I think that just is compliment to this young team having been together for a while now, and they're starting to click, and you're starting to see that. But this game and hopefully this tournament, we saw Italy take a bit more of a points on the board approach to the game, taking the points when the points were on offer, not trying to overplay and play out of positions where they shouldn't be, like their own 22. We saw them much more calm, much more collected, using the forwards to get them into a good position, using that clearing kick. A much more structured game from Italy in this opening game, this tournament, than we saw in the opening game of the last tournament against France, where they were trying to run it from everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. I still think that's a work on. I still don't think Garbisi's quite got the handle on his sort of kicking from hand. I thought he was a little bit disappointing with his sort of clearing kicks. So I think that's still an issue to work. Still something to work on. But yeah, I think you're right. What we saw, the game plan and the structure, it looks like Quesada's gonna sort of improve that, but only time will tell. Nice that we've got a nice easy game on Sunday. Just Ireland away.
Talking about an easy game, Murray. You boys might have thought you were going to have an easy game, but it was looking like you were going to have an easy game.
Thing is, I was actually right. I said it's never easy in Cardiff.
No.
Then it started to prove me wrong, and then it quickly proved me right that it's never easy. But by far easily the game of the weekend, and that's
I would say so. Yeah, 100%. Talk about a game of two halves.
It sounds so cliche, but it is. It's ridiculous.
It's true.
27.
What was? Do you? Because Russell came out afterwards and gave a really good interview and basically said, like, we feel really disappointed with that. Is that how you felt? Did you feel actually? I feel like Scotland fans probably left there feeling quite disappointed, and Welsh fans left feeling quite positive, given that the result was the flip side.
So, yes and no. So I'm beyond happy that we finally broke this Cardiff curse. First time in 22 years that we won down there. But considering how we were 20-0 up at half time, and then quickly became 27-0. There was a silly yellow card. And I said this to Cam because I was panicking to Cam through Snapchat during the game. But it felt to me as if we imploded. Like the yellow card was like, shit, what do we do now? Not, it's okay, boys, just stick to the game plan. And then like that, they got a try from the yellow card. Then Rio Dyer gets a try. Then Aaron Wainwright. I mean, how good was Aaron Wainwright if you had him in your fantasy team and as captain? Triple point. But it was beautiful. He was magic. Tommy Raphael was everywhere. Johan Lloyd getting into the game early because of the injury to Sam Costello, I think, really helped Wales. And the tricky thing is, it's a young Welsh team. So on paper, you're like, easy. It's a Warren Gatland team. It's in Cardiff. They boys will play for pride more than anything. And then once they start clicking, they play for each other. And that's very hard to break down. But before I go into the pure panic, Scotland were phenomenal in the first half.
Finn Russell was
magician.
Unplayable in parts of that game. I said to you, there were points in that game where Finn Russell was on no defence in the world, and I mean no defence in the world, would have been able to defend what he was doing.
Yeah. That 50-22, with all the time in the world to hit that, it's a piss take. And the best way I could say that. Obviously, Duhan van der Merwe getting 2 tries. I mean, the second try was just almost a throwback to last year against England.
It was just it was beautiful.
Thing is, I don't want to piss on Scotland's chips, but that first 40 minutes was possibly the worst I've ever seen from an international side. Wales in that first 40 minutes were absolutely dreadful.
I think you were talking about Scotland. I was like,
no, Wales, nothing went right at all. Literally, they were the change in the first half to that sort of 35 minutes in the second half was ridiculous, because they were just that bad for 40 minutes, and then all of a sudden were that good for 35 minutes. It was weird.
It'd be very interesting to see, number one, how Scotland are going to progress in this tournament. If they react like that to a yellow card, and they react like that under pressure that Wales were putting them under, regardless of the yellow card or not, Wales brought the heat in the second half. If they react like that under pressure, then they're going to really, really struggle against the likes of Ireland, against the likes of France, and against the likes of Italy if they carry on playing the way that they've been playing. And for Wales, it will be interesting to see if they can keep consistent over an 80-minute period with obviously such an inexperienced squad. Can they switch on straight away? And if they do, can they stay switched on for, it is a game of two halves.
It absolutely is. But the thing that you mentioned earlier, Marcello, about Finn Russell's interview at the end, that they were disappointed. And I actually kind of want to hear that. I don't want them to hear, oh yeah, we got the win. We're happy with that. We're not. Like yes, we are because it's been so long. But like considering how like control we were and how far away we were, like it was like night and day in that first
Yeah.
half.
That would
And
be
then
the biggest concern is how sort of Scotland just seemed to collapse for 30
what
minutes. And I
about
think if that
what
if that happened against any other team in the
yeah,
Six Nations, including
that could,
Italy, they would have won. I think every other team would have won.
it's actually
Oh,
funny you said
yeah.
that. It's funny you said that because I've been saying it all weekend over on TikTok that like, yeah, it's a 1 point win, but we somehow managed to dig ourselves out the shit when it
Yeah.
matters more.
I
That
mean that
if
last
that
sort
if
of
that happened in the last 5, 10 years with that Welsh momentum, that would have killed any Scottish side.
yeah.
And if we've bottled it. But I don't think we bottled it. I think this was actually I'd actually like to think this was our first game going into it as like proper favourites. And it kind of shows you how can we deal with it.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's how I've seen it. But hey, we got the win, 1-from-1, the Doddyware Cup, back to back. Welcome to Scotland, Alec Hepburn, Elliot Miller-Mills. Friend of the show, Kyle Rowe, getting the nod at fullback. He was phenomenal.
I did. He was one of the standout players in my opinion,
But
in sort of stead of Blair Kinghorn.
now we just
Yep.
sort the problems, discipline. I mean, we gave away 14 consecutive penalties and we still won the game. Let that
That's
sink in.
nuts.
It's
14.
nuts.
That is
That's
crazy.
unheard of. So fix the discipline, do what we did in that first half, and you can't touch us. And that's not me being arrogant. That's going to be hard to stop. But anyway, I could ramble on all day because it was so good.
We know.
I actually had to like chill out for an hour after the game just to get the heart right back to normal and
Yeah, control the blood pressure.
blood pressure and all that. Drink a lot of water. Yeah, all the stuff, all the good stuff. Anyway, we're back into the Six Nations this weekend. There is no break, thank God, because I hate the break. I hate
Oh.
it. Proper momentum killer. But anyway, we've got predictions. There's no Friday night game, boys.
No,
well.
Friday Night Lights is gone.
Gone. Nice while it lasted. But we have two bangers on the Saturday. We're up at Murrayfield, which means I'm there, I'm loud, I'm proud. Scotland, France. Oof.
This has the makings to be a very entertaining game. Scotland with momentum, but they've had their weaknesses highlighted.
Yep.
France have had their weaknesses highlighted, circled, underlined, everything. But they are going to. They are, this isn't the French team of old where, they shit the bed for an entire tournament, and we'll have to wait until next year to see if France can magically change. This French team for the best part of, the last cycle, the last 4 years have been slowly building and have become one of the strongest teams in the world. So I don't think they're going to be. I'm sorry. I do think they're going to come to Murrayfield with the intent to win and with the intent to win well.
Yeah, this French team with the players they've got are just too good to have two performances like that back to back. So I see them being much more like themselves. However, their record in Edinburgh is not good, is it? I don't think it's not. And on the back of being humbled like that at home, the last place they probably want to go is Edinburgh and play Scotland, who notoriously are a very, very good side at home. So I think it's going to be really tight. But I just, it's that sort of the wounded animal of France. Will they come back and just sort of be that pissed off that they go and absolutely honk Scotland? But I think Scotland are a better side than that. So yeah, I think this could be really, really tight. And I'm gonna wait before I give my prediction because I'm not too sure.
Okay, well
He's saved it.
Do you want me to kick it off with the predictions then? Because I think
I've
I've got mine sorted. I am going to give Scotland the win. Obviously, number one, home advantage. Murrayfield is an absolute cauldron of rugby. I don't think Scotland are, I think they will learn from their issues. I don't think they're going to have a second half performance like that, because I think they're going to know now not to take the foot off the pedal, and that discipline as well. I can just imagine what this week of training is going to be like for them. Discipline, discipline, discipline. But I don't think it's going to be a blowout or anything. It's going to be a close game. And if Scotland do fall short like they did against Wales in the second half, France are going to pounce, and they're going to pounce harder, and they might take it. But I am going for Scotland to beat France at Murrayfield.
I think, obviously, Scotland are winning. Back your team as always. And just clarify, just getting out of the way. But I think people are actually overlooking the fact we might be really pissed off at that win. We might be kicking ourselves. And like we said, Finn Russell wasn't happy. Sione Tuipulotu wasn't happy. Jagger Townsend sure as hell isn't happy. Fix it. We're on. Me and Harv spoke about a statement win that Scotland need to be considered contenders for the Six Nations. I said do it in Cardiff, get a statement win. I was halfway there, and then we kind of
literally halfway there.
Oh, halfway there. Anyway, big statement win. Do it at home. Give the home crowd, because even some of the not me, but like, my comment sections this week's week. Townsend needs to go. Jamie Ritchie needs to be dropped. Finn Russell's not it. Blah, blah, all that shit of the day. So let's make a big statement. Let's get a comfy win. If we're in control, stand on the throat. Don't take the pressure off. Let's squash some croissants, chuck some baguettes in the air, and let's just fucking go for it, boys. Big
We're going to see some deep fried croissants on a
deep fried croissants, deep fried everything.
That is virgin on racism, but
no, it's fine. But Scotland by, I'll take Scotland by 5.
Yeah, Cam, you didn't give a winning margin, by the way. You just said Scotland wins. So.
Okay, I'm going to say Scotland by 8.
All right, okay, I've made my mind up. I'm going to balance this out a little bit. I think that Scotland, that what I saw in that 35 minutes would really concern me. This French side are going to be hurting. I think both sides, there'll be an element of both sides sort of wanting to prove a point. But that French side is, on paper, I still think the better team. It's close, but I think the French side, pound for pound, is just about a better side. And I think that as a wounded animal coming to Edinburgh, they've got a lot to prove. And I just can't see them playing that badly again. So I think it'll be really tight, but I do think we'll see a much better France. And yeah, Scotland, that 35 minutes really bothered me. I can't shake that. So I'm going to say France by 5.
And just like that, that's Marcello's last ever episode. That's all good.
Hey, look, Cam. You know what my predictions are like. I can be quite right with what I say about my predictions, because remember what I called a few weeks ago?
I don't know why. Once again, I don't recall this, and my predictions are pretty bang on all the time. So.
Moving on, a rivalry as old as time, as a forever classic, regardless of who the coaches are, regardless of what team they put out. England versus Wales at Twickenham. Who we backing in this? Because they're both very new teams.
This is the game I think I've probably been most looking forward to in the run-up to the Six Nations, especially after the squads were announced, because these two squads are so different to what we've been seeing over the last few years. We are literally getting a revival, I feel like, of England versus Wales, because this is the new guard taking over from the old guard now. Both teams performing well in their first games in different ways. In fact, actually, both teams being down at halftime, and then both teams coming back in the second half and winning one of them winning the game. Wales falling a point short. It's really hard. England, I think player for player looks stronger. Just in terms of their new caps, a lot of them really stood up to the challenge. Wales, I feel like maybe don't have the cohesion yet.
Okay.
I think also at Twickenham, I think I'm gonna have to back England. Yeah, I know. I think player for player, England in each position are probably stronger. And I think as a team, they looked better than Wales did against Scotland. So I'm going to give it to England by 3.
Ooh, I'll give it to Marcello.
Again, growing up, this was the game I looked forward to the most in the Six Nations. I think this is I think this rivalry is the best one for me. It's a biased view. I mean, everyone thinks that they've got the big rivalry, and that's fair enough. But it's just there's so much to it, and I think Wales are a side that on paper should never beat England with the resources England have, and the fact that the Welsh regions are so in the mud and have been for such a long time. The fact that they even compete with England and have done in the last decade is a huge credit to them. And I agree. I think pound for pound, player for player, England have got a better side. They've got players that play at a higher level. But that Wales performance was encouraging. But just like with Scotland, that first half would massively worry me too. Record in Twickenham's not very good either. So I also think England will win, but I do think it will be closer than maybe people think. I think that Welsh side showed enough in that second half. And I think if they start with that team that finished on Saturday, that they'll give England a good go. I think England are obviously a new side and they showed their weaknesses in that first half against Italy. So I think Wales can cause them problems and will probably score a couple of tries. But yeah, I think England by 7.
I actually really fancy Wales to get a win here.
Yeah, of course you do, because you're a Scotsman.
That's nothing to do with
You're
it.
not. You're not going to say, "I think England are going to win," are you?
No,
It's just not in your
can-
DNA.
I can see.
I
England.
agree. I can see Wales doing it.
I do think England, if they start the way we know that they can, it's going to be it's going to be bloodshed. It's just going to be an absolute demolition. But if they think it's just Wales and just have that little doubt, I think Wales can take advantage of that. Again, it's not going to be pretty. These games are never going to be pretty. My head is saying England by 15.
Ooh.
I think if they can get it, they're going to run away with it. But my heart is saying Wales by 4. So there's there's 2. There you go. I've done 2 predictions.
This game, I think this game is going to be down to whoever starts the strongest, but ultimately whoever finishes the strongest.
However, it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. Yeah. Absolutely.
But I think in years gone by, Wales have started slowly. They go behind to England and then finish strong, but leave themselves too much to do. I feel like that's been the way. That's been the way the last couple of years. So I can see a world in which they win, but I just think with the players England have, I think then they've probably just got a little bit more nous about them. I think it would be a really big shock if Wales were to go there and win. It'd be great, and I'd love it, but don't see it happening.
You know what? Let's just
get
the best of both worlds. Let's have England run away with it, 15 points head, and then Wales win by 4. There you go.
I like it.
Yeah, we're all happy.
There you go. And on to the Sunday. We're over to Dublin.
Oh, God.
The champions are back at home.
Do you know, this fixture really annoys me because I feel like it's this really annoys me because it's frustrating because I feel like Italy started this tournament with really encouraging momentum. Even though they lost to England, there were plenty of, well, they were leading at halftime. I think, what was the stat, that it was the first time Italy have led a game in the Six Nations at halftime since, like, a long time ago. It's been a while.
No, I think we were beating France last year at halftime. I think we were. Yeah, I think we were.
Maybe it was.
But no,
against
your
England.
your point is valid. Your point's valid. We just don't win anyway.
Yeah, and like, even though they lost, I feel like Italy look really, really dangerous. And if only they could have a team like maybe Wales or a wounded France or something, I feel like they would. I would be more confident of Italy making it a close game or even pulling off a win. But the fact that they've got Ireland in Dublin, I can see a battering coming, and I can see a knock of confidence, and I can see it having a spiral effect to this young Italian team. And that's what I'm very, very worried about.
No, I'm not.
I don't know.
Well, how do you respond to that? Look, I actually think whenever we go to Dublin, it is never even close, and we always tend to have our worst performance in Dublin. It always happens. We're never even anywhere near. Ireland always tonk us in Dublin. Like, it is literally always the same. We've never come anywhere near them in Dublin. Like, we beaten them in Rome. When was it? 2013. We've pushed them closer a couple of times in Rome, but it's one of those games where we just never get anywhere near them, and we just tend to leave our worst game of the tournament to when we go there. But I think this Italian side are confident bunch. I think they've got lots to like about them. They've got a lot of energy. They play a really good attacking game. They've obviously thought a little bit more about how they're going to be a bit more pragmatic at times. Defensively, they looked really good, again, at points. I think generally defensively they were pretty good on Saturday. Do I see a world in where Italy caused them problems last year in Rome? We pushed them really close. Arguably, we could have won that game had we made a couple of different decisions in crucial moments. I think we've got the ability to hurt Ireland. I honestly don't see us winning the game, but I don't think this will be as convincing as some people are thinking. I think Italy will give a good account of themselves, and I think it'll be a bit closer. And I think they'll get a couple of tries, and they'll come out of it with a fair amount of credit, which is actually all I'm hoping for. I just want to see us continue the sort of doing the things we did last week, kind of try and reduce that error count a little bit. But otherwise, I'm happy if we go there and get a few punches off and come out of it with some credit. Because look, anyone going to Dublin and playing Ireland, especially after that win last weekend, is getting beaten. No one's going to Dublin and beating them. Literally, no one. I don't think anyone in World Rugby goes to Dublin and beat them at the moment. Not even South Africa. Not even South Africa.
Oh no, I agree with you. We've been to Dublin and we've lost, so I'm
exactly.
not.
So it's a really hard. It's obviously not ideal having this game up, but I think we'll go there and look. There's no pressure on us. There's nothing for us to lose. I think we'll just focus on ourselves and just see where we are compared to the best team. Not best team in the world, obviously, but one of the best teams in the world.
Best team in the Northern Hemisphere at the moment.
Yeah, and arguably the hardest place in World Rugby to go.
Yeah.
Dublin, so
you know what? For Italy, I think it comes down to targeting the 9 and 10, stopping Bundiaki, and
if anyone can, and if anyone can, Marcello will, because
I was going to say I think Brex and Marcello are going to, if they're playing well, because they played well against England and they look like a hell of a centre combination against England. If they can use their big boys like Canone, like Negre to break
Negre's
some.
out.
Negre's
is he?
Yeah, he's injured.
Well, there goes my plan. Italy are going to get battered. No Negri,
Yeah,
no win.
but I think the idea of Marcello up against Bundyaki will be something I'm really looking forward to watching. That would be a good battle.
I'm gonna say Ireland by 15, and that's me being fair,
generous
to Ireland and also kind to Italy.
Yeah, I'd agree.
I don't even want to say mine. I feel like it's brutal.
Go on then.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Go on.
Ireland by 35. Just because
it confirms Murray hates Italy. There we are.
Yeah.
Comments, get him.
I can definitely see this being a lot tight. Like Marcello said, a lot tighter than people are expecting.
But losing by 35.
No.
That's tighter than people expected.
No, I'm saying 35 because Ireland, again, once they get comfy, you're not stopping them.
Yeah.
No.
If you could keep them rattled just a little bit, I could see it be like Ireland by 10. I can actually see it being a tighter scoreline than Ireland-France.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not just saying that to counter what I've just said. I'm genuinely in two worlds where I'm like, Ireland will either just smash Italy in Dublin like they usually do, or this Italian team goes, you know what? Yeah, they beat France, but let's show what we can do.
Yeah, I think I'll go Ireland by 17. Yeah, I'll go Ireland by 17, but I think we'll come out of it with a good amount of credit. And we're past that point of being like, oh, as long as we keep it under 50 or whatever. I'm not going to go around saying that because that's a shit attitude to have, and I don't think this group deserve that. I think they're better than that. So I reckon 17 points.
Italy, surprise us. Go beat Ireland because we'd all love it. So
that would be the biggest shock in rugby history, I think, genuinely.
Honestly, I think I would feel
them.
patriotic, and I'm not Italian.
Yeah.
Well, that was the Six Nations. We're just before we round off, we have got some news from the other aspects of the rugby world. The Tier 2 Six Nations, as people like to call it, the Rugby Europe Championship.
A bit of an upset.
Yes, before I get to there, Romania beat Poland 20 points to 8. We expected that. Georgia beat Germany 28-17. Spain beat Netherlands just 20 points to 18. And then the shock that Cam's just said, Belgium beat Portugal. Bear in mind, the last time we've seen Portugal, they beat Fiji in last year's
World Cup.
Well, Belgium just beat them 10 points to 6. Wasn't pretty. Pissing down with rain in Brussels, but hey, a win is a win. That's how it's done.
Yeah.
Fair play to Belgium.
So you know what this means? In the logical sense, Belgium would beat Fiji.
No, we're not doing this again. No. You're going to say Belgium's better than Fiji, technically.
Belgium, the Six Nations. Belgium should get promoted.
But Belgium would beat Fiji, but Fiji beat Australia. Therefore, Belgium would beat Australia.
Oh, shut up.
Actually, I think Belgium probably could beat Australia.
You know what? Just for fun, right? We've got predictions for next week for the Europe Championship.
God, I ain't got a clue.
Exactly. That's the point of it. That's the fun of it. You just rattle off.
All right.
So,
okay.
We've got Georgia versus Netherlands. Georgia by 30. Yeah.
Georgia by 135.
Cam had a very bad experience in Amsterdam and hasn't held back since.
Yeah,
Romania.
I'm gonna go 10-9 Netherlands.
What?
Georgia can get fucked. Fuck Georgia, man.
Oh my god. Romania versus Belgium. I don't know. Belgium, go on a streak. Belgium by 2. Who knows?
Romania by 43.
Romania by 18.
You're not as fun with this anymore. Portugal versus Poland. I imagine Portugal could be heavily pissed off now. So, Portugal by 25. I don't know. I've not really seen Poland.
Portugal 3-0.
3-0. Oh my god.
It's going to be a bore draw 0-0.
Oh, and last, Spain versus Germany. Go on, Deutschland. Get a win. Germany by...
That is a football game, isn't it? That really is.
That is.
Football dream.
And Spain would win that 2-1.
Yeah, where would I rather go on holiday? Probably Spain. So I'll say Spain by what's a good number? 16.
So I'll just do it by the eligibility rule, the granny rule. Germany for the win by 5.
Murray, you're not German.
I am. Ish, kind of. And I'm enough to get capped. I'm German enough to get capped.
Oh dear.
Anyway, rugby news. Another English superstars away. Lewis Ludlam's joining Toulon at the end of the season.
Well, there
Yeah.
goes another.
Just
Go
change
get
it.
that bag. Go get that bag, Chief.
Mara Itoje's staying though.
Yeah, I think he's been central contracted though, because there's absolutely no way Saracens can afford his wages on the
Yeah,
road.
I think the RFU dangled a bit of money in front of him and said, "Please stay." They got on their knees and begged.
He's got loads of sponsorship deals over here as well. So like, why? I don't feel like he's one of those players that needs to go to France and pick up a load of cash. He's sorted.
There's not really much else.
Crusaders played Munster.
They did.
Lee
And
Halfpenny did the hacker.
Lee
Did you see
Halfpenny
that?
did the hacker.
The
I did.
most, the
You know
most
what's weird, though,
gentle, polite hacker I've ever seen.
It was.
in
It
my
was.
life.
It was so polite. I
Yeah.
almost felt like saying thank you.
Yeah.
So
It was the
bizarre.
Welshest way to do a hacker.
Yeah. Yeah. Brilliant.
I'm actually surprised they let him do it. I know that sounds. I know he's still part of the team, but do you know what I mean? Like traditionally, he's really not.
Why did they do it?
I think
I
it's just
think
a
just
historical
overseas,
thing.
aren't they?
Yeah, they tour when they tour. They do a haka.
They couldn't have exactly
Munster
told
won.
Halfpenny to just sit on the sideline, like, you can't do it, Lee. You're not allowed to do the hacker. Go and
They
go
should
and sit
have
down
given him
for a
like
second.
a couple of pom poms and put him on the side as like a cheerleader so
Yeah.
he could dance along on the sideline.
That's basically all the news. Munster won, by the way. Munster
Yeah,
beat us.
21-19. Good game.
That's pretty much it. Melbourne Rebels are in administration, and it looks like the Brumbies are voluntarily going as well. So Rugby Australia is dying on its arse as we speak.
Yep.
Good luck. Super Rugby roundup this year is going to be a cakewalk. It's going to be just a brush over.
It's going to be Fiji and Drua versus New Zealand.
Yeah.
Great.
With a hint of Moana Pacifica. There you go.
Nice sprinkling.
Yeah, but hey, that's the rugby. Smash Six Nations. We love it. It's our favourite time of the year. Can't wait to go again next week.
Indeed.
Who knows? We might actually all come back with a win. Probably not, but
Probably.
Yeah, that's wishful thinking.
it's a very nice thought. But we'll end it on
Yeah.
that.
Scotland had never beaten France.
No, that's true.
That's what will let us down.
I was so not on about me.
Italy will beat Ireland, Wales will beat England, and Scotland will lose to France by a point after leading by 29.
No.
Yes.
No, I'm not doing that again. If we take
and Murray won't return.
No, Murray will retire. He'll move to France, and
Yeah.
no.
anyways,
Toulouse fan.
Anyway, we're on YouTube, we're on Spotify, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn. Hit the follow, hit the subscribe. Just engage with us. The views on TikTok's actually doing well. The engagement's coming back. A lot of people didn't like how Cam said Ireland last week. I got a lot of stick because it sounded like you said Island.
I don't care.
Yeah. Spinning it. Anyway, yeah, that was it. We'll be back next week for Six Nations and probably some more random rugby tour that happens and more Rugby Europe Championship because why not? It's fun.
Balls of Poland.
And just like that, we'll see you next week.